Good evening, I'm Jamison Keefover. We start tonight with a police chase on the northwest side of the metro. Tonight we are getting a first look at the deadly tornado that left behind a long path of destruction. Now we are hearing from those tribes. We heard from the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma, and they send a message of hope. Now the board unanimously voted on the budget increase request of $3.57 billion.
And what else have you learned?
Well, Adam, crews are still out there dealing with those power lines. The plane is now down. Here's some video of those people being rescued. Texas lawmakers want to give pregnant women and their unborn children more rights on the roadways. If you remember this woman, she received tickets for being in the carpool lane without another passenger, but she said, I'm pregnant. It counts. Not only is it an OU holiday, it's a national holiday. Yes. So those roadways are already going to be busy. So take a look at your screen. This is a map that Norman police want you to know. We have fun, food, and fudge. We're gonna see what this tastes like when we come back. This is the H&R Block we were at yesterday. Now they have the doors boarded up, these windows boarded up. Most of these windows were blown out. The biggest area that we've seen some changes since I last spoke with you was crime scene investigators really taking a closer look at this truck. With 500 high-paying light blue-collar jobs, this is exciting for Oklahoma City and the job growth here, but we haven't heard much from state or city leaders. Oklahoma City tells us they're in a non-disclosure agreement with Canoe, not saying anything about the plans just yet. Dusty conditions across western Oklahoma, leaving wheat farmer Jared Wadel's 4,500 acres of land bare.
We could put a seed in the ground, but it's not going to grow because it has no moisture. Where we're standing right now would normally be grass a foot tall. More than 6,500 wheat farmers across the state are experiencing the same frustrations. And for Wadel, it's more than just a business. I'm a fourth generation farmer of this area. My granddad, my dad, my great granddad, now me, have all lived, farmed, and ranched in this area for going on a pinch over 100 years at this point in time. His family also runs a cattle ranch on the land. With no grass for grazing, they're spending more on hay than usual, all while making less from a smaller wheat harvest this year. All the forecasts and predictions are pretty much predicting a continuation of abnormally dry weather. Researchers want to help farmers get their seed into the ground even during these dry conditions. But starting with this, learning the most they can about different varieties to better help Oklahoma producers. Oklahoma State University's Wheat Improvement Team is developing drought and disease-resistant wheat varieties.
That's where we are investing our resources and our time. It's doing the best we can to prepare for future climate change.
But a variety of wheat could take more than a decade to develop.
There are a lot of research going on now and doing the best we can to prepare.
We're kind of limited just because wheat hasn't had the research and the funding that other crops have had, but obviously the folks at OSU know exactly what they're doing.
Wadel is letting the dust settle and says he'll get something in the ground as soon as rain moves in, as his family's land depends on it. The Regional Food Bank of Oklahoma works with more than 50 counties in the state. Since 2020, more Oklahomans are seeking out their services, especially right now.
Our pantries, our partners definitely see an increase in need around the holidays time, and so they will order additional food to make sure they're able to meet that need.
The food bank relies on thousands of volunteers, with an increase of helpers during the holidays.
So the labels go to the outside.
Steve Cage has spent 6 years volunteering at the food bank.
Well, you walk out of here feeling like you've made the world a little bit of a better place.
Once you sign up to volunteer online, you'll pick where you want to help.
Basically, you have 3 options.
And Steve's done all of them, including the Food Resource Center and more that serves as a grocery store.
Where we make meals for school-age children and senior citizens. And then the Volunteer Center, which is what you're seeing right now, where we do so many things.
Or stay in Oklahoma City at the Regional Food Bank, helping out in Hope's Kitchen. Volunteers line up and help pack food packets all together, and you may just be one volunteer in a line of many, but it makes a big difference even after the holidays.
What we always see every year, though, is a big drop-off in January and February, and we still need volunteers in January and February.
Volunteers saved the food bank $1 million in labor costs last year, helping them put more food out there to Oklahomans in need. Jamison Keefover, Fox 25 News. Officials and witnesses said the execution of Benjamin Cole had no complications. His official time of death was 10:22 after spending his final words giving a 2-minute religious speech. Afterward, the victim's family, Brianna Cole, said today is Justice for Brianna Day after their 20-year nightmare ends. 57-year-old Benjamin Cole spent nearly 20 years in prison for the murder of his 9-month-old daughter, Brianna. He was sentenced to death in 2004.
The sentence of Benjamin Cole has been carried out. The time of death was 10:22 a.m.
Cole used his last words to give a 2-minute religious speech, whispering that he forgives all those he's wronged and that Jesus is his Lord and Savior. Brianna's family was there for the long-awaited execution.
Brianna finally has justice today. Our family has justice today, and we do not have to deal with this anymore.
Cole's attorney spent years trying to stop his execution, arguing his paranoid schizophrenia diagnosis and declining mental state made him unfit. They appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court, but were denied the day before the execution. Cole's attorney said in a statement, "It is unconscionable that the state denied Ben a competency trial. Ben lacked a rational understanding of why Oklahoma took his life today." His attorney is advocating for change to the system, while Brianna's family is advocating for victims' rights.
I want to see if there is something that we can do to make this be a faster process, because 20 years, give me a break. He admitted to it, and there was no question about this. So it should have been done a long time ago.
Oklahoma's next scheduled execution is less than a month away. In McAllister, Jamison Keefover, Fox 25 News.